In this video, I'll be taking a look at what you could expect as we head into the month of November. Now keep in mind, take this forecast with a grain of salt. Anything over 2 weeks out is virtually impossible, let alone 4 weeks from now, but with the data I'm about to present, we'll have a basic understanding of what you could expect. As we can see here on Halloween night, it's going to be downright frigid cold, so make sure you bundle up. If you're taking the kiddos out trick-or-treating, don't want them getting sick out there. And the reason why it's going to be cold is because we're going to have a major trough that's going to be setting in for the central and eastern part of the country. It's going to be potentially record-breaking cold out there, as it's going to be potentially the coldest there of the season for the eastern part of the country. So just please be aware of this. Once we get past Halloween, looks like a ridge is going to be setting in, where it looks like warm and dry conditions are going to be in store potentially. So make sure you put those Halloween decorations up and put the Christmas decorations out, as it looks like it's going to be pretty nice out there for that. But it looks like a major trough is going to be setting in for the northwest part of the country. It's going to bring some wet, damp, and just nasty weather for the northwest part of the country. And the eastern part of the country is going to get in on this action as well, as right around the 7th, where it looks like a trough is going to be setting in for the eastern part of the country. It's going to remain that way for quite a while too, but this little ridge right here could play a role in our future weather patterns moving forward, as it looks like this is going to potentially move eastward. But I'll get into that here in a little bit, as I'll be taking a look at the global Euro ensemble map. That'll take us all the way out to the end of November. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the simulated radar. As we can see, we have some snow showers that are going to be setting in across the Ohio Valley, and some wet and rainy conditions for the eastern part of the country. So just please be aware of this if you're taking the kiddos out trick-or-treating tonight. Now that's going to move its way towards the northeast, and once we get past Halloween, it looks like it's going to remain dry for much of the country, except for the northwest part of the country, where y'all are going to be getting in on some snowy, wet, and dreary conditions out there. And the eastern part of the country is going to be getting in on this right around the 7th, as you saw on the 500 millbar hot anomaly map, where we're going to be dealing with a little trough out here, where we're going to be dealing with some soggy conditions. Now, up here in the northeast, right around the 8th, we're going to be dealing with some accumulating snowfall up there. Now, I don't want to give y'all any snow totals just yet. I don't want to mislead y'all and freak y'all out, have y'all go out and get your bread and milk just yet, because this might not even happen, because this is so far out. But if this does happen, it looks like a lot of snowfall is going to be occurring. So definitely in the next video, if this does verify, then I will have some snowfall totals for y'all. But as of right now, not going to freak y'all out just yet. And once that moves out, looks like yet another storm system is going to be rolling through the central part of the country, bringing some snow showers to Montana and the Dakotas. Now I want to show y'all something. If you watched my last video, y'all know that I said that there's a couple disturbances down here, which there are. And I said that they're not going to be affecting the homeland any. Well, I kind of lied about that. Looks like these are going to form into little disturbances, which will result in some heavy rainfall for much of this part of the country. I don't expect any heavy thunderstorms or nothing, no tornadoes or damaging winds, just some heavy rainfall, so just please be aware of that. As we head back to the Euro, we're going to take a look at what kind of temperatures you could expect for the next couple weeks. On the temperature anomaly map, we know it's going to be downright frigid cold for the next couple of days. You can see the blues and the greens. That's below average temperatures. As we head into the 4th, we can see above average temperatures are going to be expected for much of the country for a little while, until a little trough is going to be rolling through right around the 7th, where it looks like frigid air is going to be in store for the eastern part of the country, while warm air is going to be in store for the western part. Now it looks like it's going to change as we head into the 9th. Now let's go ahead and get into the global ensembles to see what we could expect as we head past the 9th. And I forgot to mention, don't forget to turn those clocks back on the 5th, as time change is upon us already. We're going to be getting an extra hour of sleep. Go enjoy it. As we take a look at temperature anomalies as we head towards the end of November, looks like we're going to be dealing with some below average temperatures for the eastern part of the country, while above average temperatures are expected for the western part right around Veterans Day weekend. But once we get past Veterans Day weekend, it looks like above average temperatures are going to be expected really for much of the country, except for the western part. As we head into Thanksgiving weekend, it looks like just about the same as expected. Above average temperatures for the central and eastern part, while some cool air is expected out here in the southwest part. As we head into December, looks just about the same for that. As far as precipitation goes, although it's going to be pretty warm for much of the country, it looks like dry conditions are obviously going to be in store for much of the country as we head into the beginning parts of November, while the northwest part of the country is going to be damp. As we head further into November, it looks like above average precipitation is expected for the central part of the country, while below average precipitation is expected up here in the northwest. It looks like much of the same is expected with near normal and above average precipitation south and below average for the northwest. So it looks like as we reverse this to Thanksgiving weekend, we can see that it looks like we're going to potentially have a wet and damp and warm Thanksgiving potentially. But again, take this with a grain of salt. This will change now and then. And we'll have an official Thanksgiving Day forecast out within the next couple weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed down below with bell notifications turned on so you never miss an upload as well. Because here at Williams Weather, we make weather forecasting fun and informative. Now, of course, we can't just rely on the weather models. We got to rely on our trusty National Weather Service. And always go to the National Weather Service page for the most up-to-date weather information. Don't just rely on me, the YouTube weatherman, because the National Weather Service will lead you in the right direction with the most up-to-date information. Now, as far as precipitation goes, this takes us out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. As y'all saw on the precipitation map that I've shown earlier, above average precipitation is expected here, but yet above average precipitation is expected here as well up in the northwest. And down here, and down by Florida, and up north of Alaska. Now, below average precipitation is expected south of Alaska and from Kentucky up into Maine. Now, as far as temperatures go, near normal or above average temperatures are expected down here in the southwest, and above average temperatures are expected for the north of Alaska. Now, these graphics here show us that above average temperatures are expected really for much of the country, which is very true. And it looks like near normal temperatures are expected from the Carolinas down into Florida and down by Texas in the blue. Now, as far as precipitation goes, this is where we have disagreement at because it looks like this graphic here shows us that we're going to be below average really for much of the country, while the National Weather Service was showing us above average precip for the central part and up in the northwest and down by Florida. Now, I'm thinking these guys are getting their information for the beginning of November. That's probably why they're saying this. So I would trust these guys over these guys. But always, for the most up-to-date information, make sure you go to the National Weather Service page. Don't just rely on me. Basically, it's going to be warm and sort of soggy November if you live really in the central, northwest, and southeastern part of the country and north of Alaska, but really the rest of the country is going to be, I think, pretty dry. If you stayed this far in the video, I'm going to show y'all something very, very interesting. And what is that, you may ask? Well, the Climate Forecast System model. This is a very unreliable model, but it's fun to look at because it tells us what to possibly expect as we head into the end of the month. Now, of course, it's going to be downright chilly for much of the country up until the 4th, where it's going to be warming up. We can see some chilly air still going to be sticking around right around the 12th before we're coming into another warm-up again. 60-degree temperatures in store right around Thanksgiving week. It's going to be getting downright chilly yet again. It looks like chilly air setting in out west, while warm air setting in out east right around the end of November. Now, of course, we can't just look at the temperatures. We got to look at the precipitation as well. So we know it's going to be pretty soggy out in the northwest part of the country. That's going to lead to some precipitation out east as well. Bringing some snow over here in the northeast. As I said earlier in the video, we're going to be expecting some snow up here. Possibly some accumulating snowfall as well. It's going to be dry yet again. More precipitation out west with some snow showers over by Wyoming and Montana. Another system that's going to be rolling through right around the 15th, bringing a lot of snowfall to Canada. A lot of heavy rainfall for much of the eastern part of the country. And it looks like as we head towards Thanksgiving, it looks like some snowfall over here out west. Some heavy rainfall out east. And we got two storm systems right here and right here. And we look at Thanksgiving night. Y'all are in your turkey comas. Looks like we come into some snowfall over here by Utah, Nevada, and Idaho. A lot of rainfall down by Arizona and New Mexico, especially out west. But as we wake up on Black Friday, you're out there shopping. Looks like come into some snowfall out west. It's going to be dry for really the rest of the country. But it looks like two storm systems are going to be rolling through towards the end of the month. Now, this probably won't even happen, but it's just fun to look at. So please just take all of this with a grain of salt. what's on the climate forecast system is very unreliable, just like really the rest of the models, but I think the Euro model is probably the most trustworthy out of all of them. That's why I use them in my videos. But always, like I said, please go to the National Weather Service for the most up-to-date weather information for your area. Don't just rely on me. But I do appreciate it if you do rely on me, though. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate all of y'all. This is something new I'm doing. These monthly weather outlooks. I'm going to try to do them every single month. Breaking down what you could expect. Leave some feedback down in the comment section down below. Just tell me how I did. Trying this out for the first time. It looks like November's going to be pretty dry and pretty warm as we head into the beginning parts of it. But looks like as we head towards the end of November, it looks like it's going to be sort of wet and still warm for much of the country. So if you liked the video, please make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to share the video as well so more people are informed about the weather. And don't forget to turn those clocks back on November 5th as well. Fall back is upon us. And get an extra hour of sleep. So again, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, never stop forecasting.